Sangye chedan zoye chonam la chanchu pa tani nyabzu jen lagye chushe gebe sonam ye chola benje sangye chupa Sangye chedan zoye chonam la chanchu pa tani nyabzu jen lagye chenso gebe sonam ye chola benje sangye chupa Sangye chedan zoye chonam la chanchu pa tani nyabzu jen lagye chenso gebe sonam ye chola benje sangye chupa Good evening. Yeah. One question here. It's very difficult question, huh? So scary. During your teaching, you said that Pure Land is just a projection of our minds. However, you also said that Amitabha's Pure Land is the properties / Pure Land created by Amitabha Buddha, which exist out there. So how do we reconcile these two seemingly contradictory explanations? Thank you very much. I think many others have the same question. So first of all, when you say your projection of your mind, your not necessarily means like each one of us. In general, it's a projection of the mind. That's what I'm trying to say, right? But at the same time, the Pure Land is a projection of our mind, is a product of mind. That's what I said. I didn't say projection of the mind. What I said, probably the sound quality. What I was saying is it's a product of the mind, yeah, not projection of the mind. Not a mere projection of the mind, but a product of the mind. So if you look at it as a projection of the mind, that can also be understood in the sense that our Pure Land, each of us, the Pure Land that we will be born in the future, our Pure Land, that is our projection. Not a mere projection, but it's as a byproduct of our. First, we have to project it. Projection here means to manifest it, to visualize it, and then the visualization turns into the actual product or the actual phenomena. So maybe this is a good time to introduce something called the 4 purifications. I don't know, Tabashi, 4 purification, 4 pure forms. There's something called pure body, pure speech, pure action, and pure realm. Okay? Pure body, pure speech or teaching, then the pure actions, pure qualities, then the pure realm. Yeah. The body, the speech, the action, or the qualities, then the realm. So 4 of 4. So what usually, there's always a question about what differentiates Vajrayana or Tantra from Sutra. What is Tantra, what is Sutra? Sutrayana does not deal with these 4 transformations or 4 pure forms, these 4 things. Vajrayana talks in detail about these 4 things. It basically what it means is, in order to become a Buddha, you need to have a perfect body, a perfect speech, and perfect action, activities, then a perfect place to be, a realm, what we usually refer to as the pure realm, or what is the other word we just keep it, pure land, yeah, or paradise, we say this thing. So Buddhism 101, right? Most important, what is that? What's the most important thing in Buddhism? What we talk about? Karma, huh? Yeah, reincarnation also okay, but karma, reincarnation is a byproduct of karmic concept. So karma is the most important thing. Karma is known as law of causality or cause and effect. Yeah, cause and effect. Without a cause, there's no effect. Yeah, without a seed, there will be no apple. No, without apple seed, there's no apple. Without a proper cause, there will be no proper result. Cause and condition, cause and effect applies everywhere. Small things, big things, external products, internal emotion, everything, cause and condition like that. Same goes for what we are aspiring for. What are we aspiring as a Buddhist? What's our aspiration? To liberation, to enlightenment, to Buddhahood. Yeah. To become a Buddha, Buddha consists of, what is a Buddha? Buddha is the awakened state, the enlightened state, free from all suffering. At the same time, Buddha is someone who has what we refer to as enlightened body, pure body, or what is that? Perfect body. Yeah, Buddha's body, mind, body, speech, right? Then Buddha also have a perfect speech, meaning he can say one word. Anyone, he can say, there's a Buddha may he may speak to a particular audience, let's say, who can only speak the Pali language, right, or Sanskrit language. He speaks in the Sanskrit tongue. Then people who speak Pali can hear that. People who only the God realm can hear that. Animals can also hear his teaching. When we give a teaching to animals, we won't understand. So Buddha says one word, it is understood in multiple languages by multiple people. That's one of the skill of the Buddha's speech. Buddha's body, speech. I'm omitting mind here, okay? Mind is not mentioned. Buddha's perfect, pure body or perfect body, pure speech, pure activity, yeah? Activities are, what is Buddha's activity? What is the action that Buddha does? Is to liberate sentient beings, alleviate the suffering of sentient beings. That's Buddha's activity. And then the pure realm, right? So these 4 things, as a Buddha, you acquire those things. You obtain these things. You attain this. You have a pure body, pure speech. You also have a pure mind. Pure body, mind, speech is there. Pure activity is there. Pure activity means whatever the Buddha does, it's for the sake of others. So it's pure. It's free from impurities. The impurity we are referring to is selfish. No selfishness there. Then pure land or pure realm, meaning nothing in the Buddha's own land or territory comes from the, if you are born in the Buddha's pure land, you have no strong negative emotion, etc., all of that, right? So these four things needs a cause. We have something called the principle, is it principle? Substantial cause and secondary cause, right? Substantial cause is what becomes that thing, yeah? Secondary cause, so for example, like an apple fruit, the seed of an apple is the substantial cause for the apple. Then the water, the soil, the sunlight, the fertilizer, everything is the secondary cause. So that goes with everything else for a human being to be born. Everything has a secondary cause and a primary cause or substantial cause. The substance goes to become that. Similarly, for the Buddha's four perfect beings, four perfect pure forms, for these pure forms, it needs a secondary cause and it needs a principal or substantial cause. Okay? So in the Sutrayana, the substantial cause for the Buddha's perfect enlightened mind is very well detailed, spoken, explained. When it comes to the mind, and it comes to the body, comes to the speech, comes to the activities, and comes to the Pure Land, what are the exact appropriate causes to bring forth the pure realm, the pure activities, the pure speech, and the pure body is not explained. If any text explains that, that belongs to Tantrayana. So Tantrayana is not about just reciting some mantra. If there's a Sanskrit word is there, then this is Tantric. If there's no Sanskrit term, then it's Sutrayana. That's a very big misconception. Because at the end of the day, all the Dhamma text comes from Sanskrit, especially in the Mahayana teaching, all come from Sanskrit. We let the mantras remain as it is because it has a sort of a power, a force, a blessing of its own. The incantation of the mantra has a very strong, very special power. That's why the mantra recitation, like Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Devashi. So instead of translating those words and reciting them in your own respective languages, such as Tibetan, we let it be because the mantra has to be recited as it is. Okay, so appropriate, exact causes of the mind is explained in the sutra. All the sutra is about that, Sutrayana. Tantrayana is basically explained the four, how to transform the impure four forms. We have a body, we have a speech, we have activities, and we have a place to live. So that impure place, activity, speech, and body, how to transform that into the pure form is explained in the Tantrayana. Okay, so therefore, visualization of a deity yoga, comes from where? Sutra or Tantra? Tantra, yeah. Mantra recitation comes from where? Tantra. Sutra, okay, it may be a little bit confusing when you say sutra alone, but if you term it properly, it's Sutrayana and Tantrayana, right? Even Tantric teachings are sutra in the sense that anything that is spoken by the Buddha himself, words of the Buddha is referred to as sutra. Yeah? And the canonical text, what usually we refer to as ka and Denju. Sutra is the ka and Denju is the commentary to the Buddha's teaching, that is Denju. So when it's translated into Tibetan language, it's called ka yur and deng yur. Yur means translation. So Ka is sutra, Buddha's own, what sometimes referred to as the canonical teachings, the canons, Pali canon, Sanskrit canon, etc. Then the commentary, that is the Shastras. Yeah? That's the teaching, that's the commentary to the Buddha's teaching. So there are, anything taught by the Buddha is sutra. But just because it's sutra does not mean it belongs to the Sutrayana. Yeah. Just because it's a commentary to the Buddha's teaching, it is not a sutra, but it belongs to the Sutrayana. Okay? So sutra and Sutrayana is different. Tantra and Sutra and Sutrayana is different. That is something to be clear. So Vajrayana or Tantrayana. Vajrayana is basically Buddhist Tantra. Tantra is not special to Buddhism. Hinduism also has multiple forms of tantric practices. So Vajrayana is another name for Buddhist Tantra. So Vajrayana highlights how to purify these four forms, impure into purity. So visualizing ourselves as the deity, perfect Buddha, with no imperfections, pure form, that one teaches you how to, even though it's a mental thing, you are just imagining or visualizing, which is a form of imagination. You are visualizing, right? What are you visualizing? You are visualizing a body. So it's what it is. It is not a physical entity exactly, okay? Because it's a mental formation. You are thinking that you think that you are a Buddha. So it's not purely physical, right? It's psychological. At the same time, the psychological image that you are creating is that of a form. It's physical. So it's actually a psychophysical form. So even though it is not necessarily exactly a body in the sense that it is a physical thing, entirely physical, but it is psychophysical, meaning it has the, so it has the energy, the potential of becoming a physical thing in the most primate state, most primitive state. Okay? So therefore, visualizing yourself as the deity creates the substantial cause to become a deity. Nowhere in the Sutrayana talks about visualize yourself as the deity. Okay? The same goes for speech. As a Buddha, as you are a Buddha, then you engage. A lot of time you do the recitation of the mantra at your heart, and the mantra goes out and inwards from the deity. So many things like that, right? Anyone not receive initiation before? No one, right? Everybody receive initiation? Yeah, so then during the initiation, there is the body initiation, then the mind, speech initiation. With the speech, mantra is being recited, incantation is done, all that thing. Then we also do after purifying your negativities inside, especially, for example, when you do like a Vajrasattva practice or maybe medicine Buddha practice, you purify, you cleanse all the impurities within you, and then powerful light emits from your heart, and then it does what is known as fulfills the two purposes. Two purpose means your purpose and others' purpose. Your purpose means to become a Buddha, others' purpose means to alleviate others from suffering and bring them to enlightenment. So fulfill the two purposes. So Buddha's activity means fulfilling the two purposes. Two purposes, my purpose and their purpose, or your purpose. Self-purpose and other purpose. Self-purpose means to become a Buddha, other purpose means to bring others to Buddhahood. That is the two purposes. So that actually entails all the Buddha's activities. This is also done in Vajrayana, not in Sutrayana. Sutrayana, we pray, aspire, but there's no proper training on that thing. Then, not only that, we also visualize that you are the Buddha, the deity like Vajrasattva or Amitabha. And you also visualize that the whole place that you are staying is not an ordinary place, but the pure land or the pure realm of that Buddha. So the place where the pure realm of the Buddha is also projected from within by yourself. So coming back to this question, what the term that I used earlier is that the Pure Land is a product of the mind. I didn't say projection of the mind. If I had, then maybe it's an omission. But in a sense, you can interpret it in such a way that it can be a projection of the mind in the sense that the four pure forms, the perfect body of the Buddha, perfect speech of the Buddha, perfect activity of the Buddha, and the perfect pure realm of the Buddha is projected from me when I am in my unenlightened state. I visualize them. I visualize myself as the Buddha, as the Amitabha. I recite the mantra as I am Amitabha. I engage in the fulfilling the two purposes as Amitabha. And I also visualize that the surrounding place that I live is Amitabha's Pure Land. So I project that from my mind. So that projection that I keep training in eventually turns that psychological thing eventually turns into a physical thing. Okay, psychophysical transformation is there. So therefore, in a way, you can say it's a mental projection. So then, if that is the case, how Amitabha? You also said that Amitabha's Pure Land is the property of created by Amitabha Buddha. So when we say Amitabha's Pure Land, of course, Amitabha's Pure Land in general Amitabha's Pure Land. If we are to look at Amitabha's Pure Land objectively, then of course that Amitabha's Pure Land is Amitabha's Pure Land. So it is his property for sure. Yeah. So he, in his sentient being time era, when he was a sentient being, he was non-enlightened. He worked hard to attain this pure land, pure realm, and he got it when he became enlightened. So it is his in a sense. So the point that I was trying to make when I said it's a product of your mind, I'm not saying you as in a person like you and me. I'm not saying in that manner. I'm saying Pure Land is a product of the mind. What I'm trying to say is it's created by the mind. Okay, so not necessarily. So I think I mentioned earlier also there can be objective way of looking at the Pure Land, and then there is a way to look at it in a mystical way. So if you look at it in the mystical way, then it is your own mental formation. Just as the hell realms are your mental product of your mental formation, Pure Realm is also the same. I quoted one line from Bodhisattva Charya Avatar, remember? Yeah. Who created those infernal hell and infernal walls of fire? And who created those infernal walls? Who created the fire, the inflaming fire to burn us? They are all nothing but the product of our mind. So did Shakyamuni Buddha say. That's from. So if hell is a product of our mind, so hell, in this understanding, actually we can look at the 6 realms. Yeah, hell realm is one of the 6 realms. Hell realm, you can look at it from an objective point of view, and you can also look at it from sort of a mystical point of view or mental formation. You can take it literally or figuratively. If you take it literally, there is also specified the exact location of the hell realm and this and that in the sutras. You can find that, which is kind of similar, which does make sense, because when we try to, it says that if you dig something called a Sao Ribadu. If you dig out 7 levels beneath the under the earth, you will find the hell realm. So that 7 level is once again very much subjective. So anyway, if you are to dig the crust of earth further and further, you will find a lot of the lavas at the crux of earth. There's I don't know what you call that thing, but very hot. What's the name for that thing? Core of earth. Very hot, huh? The core of earth, there's something that's inflaming, very hot. So it does make sense. It's very hot. The lava is also the lava is the liquid form, right? And at the very center, the crux of earth, there are things. I don't know what you call that thing. It's inflaming, very hot, just like an infernal hell. So there is that understanding there in any case. So anyway, you can find figurative. If you try to locate the earth, you may not necessarily find the doors to hell just by digging the earth, even though it is said that if you go down 7 levels. But figuratively, you can find the 6 realms: earth, the human realm, animal realm, hell realm. Basically, the 6 realm, you can find it in the human world itself. There are those who are in constant pain and agony, no relief at all. That is nark, which means which is the source term for nyawa, the hell. Nark means no relief. People who has no relief at any point, it's constantly suffering one after one another. You may be living in the human world, but your body may be in the human world, but you are actually going through hellish life. Yeah. Then the animal, then the hungry ghost. Hungry ghost, yita, always craving for something, never satisfied. They cannot find food to begin with. If they find a food and eat something, they're not satisfied. They want more and more and more. We have people like that in the human world too. Consume, never full, satisfied, never content. Big stomach. Big stomach meaning never-ending craving. Yeah? And it is said that they cannot find food. Food is to consume. So that means whatever they are looking for, they never seem to find it. And when they find it, they are never grateful. Yeah? So hell, hungry ghost. Animals are dull. Of course, some people say not true, especially if you are keeping a pet. You say, oh, dogs are loyal, this and that. Yes, they are loyal. The very fact that you can domesticate a dog means they are dull. They are more stupid than you, so that's why you can keep them at home. If dogs are more clever than you would be. It's the other way around. Any animal, the fact that you are domesticating them, the fact that you are, put them in prison. I don't know, prison is not the right word. You put them in custody, control situation. That means you are more clever than them. Yeah, human beings are very weak in terms of physical thing, right? Gorilla, tiger, much more powerful. Elephant, we're controlling elephant. We're controlling whales. Everything, every living being in earth, we are controlling them. No matter 10 times, 100 times bigger than us, we don't care. As small, big, we don't care. Small, we don't care. Microorganisms, we control them. We feed them different things and kill them, grow them, change them into different things. Yeah. So they're all dull. No intelligence, that's the term. We have that, plenty, human beings. Human beings. Here, intelligence meaning no ability to decide what is right and what is wrong. How many human beings are there who do not have the ability to decide what's right or what's wrong? Plenty. So animal world is already there. Okay, in the human realm, we are facing animal suffering, or animals. We are experiencing animals living livelihood. Yeah. Then human, easy. Basically, humans are what humans have. Human, to be born as a human, you need half black negative karma and half positive karma. You have half and half. You're born in human realm. You have some luxury, you have some intelligence, you have some determination, some intelligence is there, basically. Some enjoyment is there, not constant suffering. But then, when you think you are enjoying something, all of a sudden, samsara knocks you out with so many surprises. Yeah. So up and down, up and down. So we usually say, oh, human life is a roller coaster, right? Roller coaster. Joy, happy, unhappy, happy, unhappy. It's called like that. So human world, there are so many humans in the human world. No need to. That's for sure. So last night we talked about whether there is a real asura or no asura. Yeah. Remember. So okay, if there is asura, it's fine. There's a way to explain that. If no asura, it's also fine. So asurs, last night we talked, remember what the story I told you? The wish-fulfilling tree grows, the roots are in the asura land. And the fruits blossom in the Devata's land, the God's land, in the heavenly realms. So all the tasty fruits are taken by the gods, while it's very toiled by the demigods, the asurs. In any case, asurs are always constantly jealous, envious of other people's achievement, because the gods have achieved. They are able to eat. They are able to relish the taste of the fruit. The asurs cannot, even though it grows in their land. So it comes in front of you, but you cannot grab it. Somebody else uses that. Yeah? So we have that. A lot of people who are endowed with so many things, but are never able to utilize that. Can't afford to utilize that. So that also goes for the hungry ghost. In our Tibetan culture, we usually say, when you have someone being very stingy, we say, don't be like a hungry ghost. Because something comes in your hand, but you are not able to utilize it, you are not able to spend it. You have money, but cannot spend. Think, oh, for some future, I will spend it for something better in the future, whatever. Any case. Then the God realm is something that has, so these are like the creme de la creme, right? The top, is the top 1%. And the top 1% also has so many things to go. You have seen always, yeah, the scandals, just read the tabloids, it's filled with the the spoil of the top 1%, what they did, all the silly things they do, all the, that thing. So top 1% is also not free. And eventually, the top 1% also has to eventually die. Yeah, and you can see that most of the time they don't engage in spiritual practices because no need to. Everything is, there, taken for granted. So when you take everything for granted, you feel less empathetic about other people's suffering and emotion, this and that. And you feel at the very end, at the very last minute, you feel that then it's too late. Yeah. So you see the 6 realms within our human life itself. So actually, if you look at it that way, it's much more effective because it's actually much more scarier. Hell, nobody has seen actual hell. Yeah. If they've seen it, they're already too late, gone, not here. But hellish life, everybody has seen. Yeah. Hell, some may have seen, some may not, maybe not remember. Hellish life, everybody has seen. Heavenly lives, people have experienced. So figuratively, this thing, if you take it into a figuratively, then it actually is applicable in your life, our lives. Then it makes sense. 6 realms makes more sense now. Don't take things for granted, God. Don't be jealous of others as attainment, demigod. Be aware of the fact that you are the byproduct of both positive and negative, and because the suffering is from the negative and the joy is from the positive, so you must utilize on maximizing on the positive karma and minimizing on the negative karma. Human, don't be dull. Animal, no? Don't get attached, don't crave for things that is, stop craving for things, attachment, hell, the hungry ghost, yeah. And then those who are in a total hellish life, suffering at all times, that is hell. You have the 6 realms. If you want to avoid being born in the hell, literally, or having a hellish life, figuratively, what you must do is follow the law of causality properly, cause and condition, like that. So in that sense, not only the Pure Land, but also the 6 realms is a product of the mind. Yeah, makes sense. Okay. So this is for answer for this piece of paper. So thank you for the question. And, okay, now going to what last night we talked about the accumulating merit in the form of the 7-limb practice. Very powerful practice, very simple because only 7, but very powerful, very effective. We covered prostration, we covered also the offering aspect. So offering is a form of giving. Yeah, we covered that last night. So what we offer the water. Did I explain about this, the 7 types of offering that we do? Not really, right? Anyway, it's not that important. Offer anything that you do not regret parting with. If you regret, if you make a huge offering to impress the person, or so that people will say, oh, he's such a great practitioner, making such a big contribution, this and that. If you make offerings with that, it doesn't help. So offer something that you can easily part with. Yeah. Then it becomes what is known as pure offering. Yeah. Otherwise, if you have impure mindset, if you have then doesn't work. So pure offering. Yeah. Anything. That's why water is being offered, because water, in the very nature of water, is transparent, so pure. And in the past, in ancient time, water is free. It's a little different today. But still, so offering water has a lot of So there are 2 types of offering, mainly what is known as the what's the term? Physical offering, meaning what is actually placed on the table or on the altar that you can afford. Then mental offering, or manifestive offering. What we usually do is we place fruits, whatever we can afford, we place on the table, on the altar, sorry. And after that, we visualize these multiple, we multiply them visually, yeah. Especially if you have received initiation of such any deities, then you visualize yourself as the deity, and then you have multiple hands and arms and other multiple lips. They all recite the mantra. They all make different offerings. They all make multiple prostration, etc. So you accumulate more merit through mental projection. So once again, it's a product of the mind. Yeah. So important is to, so one important thing is that it actually teaches us to part away with things. When you are making offerings, sometimes we are not ready to give to the poor, but when we are asked to give offer to the Buddha, it's easy for us because we have this, there's a transaction going on. I offer to the Buddha, Buddha give me, I don't know, promotion. So sometimes if you look at it, it's such a cheap, for example, in order to get your promotion, it's not gonna work. $100 will not get your promotion, right? But you offer $100 to the Buddha and then ask for promotion. So even, so see the irony. So it's actually not the $100. It's not the value of the money that is going to work. If you have a pure heart, yeah. If I get the promotion, I will do something more meaningful. With that commitment, no need to put money. Yeah, that pure heart is the offering, the purest offering. That will work. $100 will not get you a promotion, right? You gave to your boss and $100 will not work. 1,000 will not work, right? So, but still, we are accustomed to seeing a non-theistic Buddha. Theistic means the creator God, like the who created the universe. Buddha is non-theistic. Buddha is not a God in that sense. Buddha is not a God in that sense. Buddha is not a creator, not theistic. That's why the term atheist comes from that word. Believing in a creator God or not believing in a creator God. So in that sense, you can say Buddhists are atheist because we don't believe in a creator God. Yeah. Anyway, so we tend to look at a non-theistic Buddha in a theistic way. Buddha is non-theistic. Everything that Buddha taught, he says that the world is not created by one primary. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, there is no primordial being or energy out there in the sky or space which create the universe. No. Everything is created by cause and condition. Then what we do is everything created by cause and condition. We replace God with cause and condition. We also elevate the position of cause and condition karma, as if karma, there's something called, just like we have the God with a capital G, we also write karma with a capital K and elevate its space, its position. We actually deify it, give it a position of a deity. You know what I'm saying? So we think karma is everything. So when we think of karma, we think there is something called the karma, just like we have the God. So remove theistic, in order to remove theistic sort of trappings, we replace it with karma, but instead of using karma with a small k, we use like big K, the capital K, just like with the capital G, God. God with capital G means the creator God. With the small g means as a deity, normal deity, a celestial being. That's what a God means. So karma with a K, capital K, is referencing to a universal karma that is responsible for everything. It's like a wisdom eye, the primordial energy out there, which is responsible for everything. There are many other traditions, religion, spiritual, not only in the West, but in the Indian, Indic religion. There are many others who think that there's something called the idea of Brahma, the creator. So there is the Brahma who overlooks everything, and Brahma create this and that. So that's even within Eastern tradition, Indian tradition, there are the theistic concept is not foreign, not new. There is that. But Buddhism Theism is not acceptable because karma is individual. Each of us are responsible for our own karma with a small k. There is not one person up there who's seeing everything or manipulating everything. No, I'm responsible for my own karma. But that karma has been snowballed into this for 100 million years or more because it's infinite. We have had so many different karma, and each of these positive, negative karmas are snowballing into different experiences. Yeah. So snowballing is what I'm trying to. By the term snowballing, what I'm trying to say is we have the imprints of positive karma, negative karma, different the habituations, the inhibitions. That's what I'm referring to. Okay, like a snowball avalanche coming. Yeah, it gets bigger, and eventually, when we experience the pain or when it crashes, the snowball crashes. Only then we are aware of the magnitude of our karma. In the beginning, it's a very small, stone or whatever coming from the top of the mountain. Then snowballing, getting bigger. And only when it hit us, we are aware. Yeah. Anyway, offering. Okay. Yeah. So offering to the Buddha, your offering is necessary. Okay. Then repentance or regret, confession. So in order to have proper confession, the proper confessions are only possible if we have something called the four powers or four forces are there. So first of them is known as the Tengito, right? That is the force or the power of the refuge or reliance. Then means reliance. So power of the reliance, power of refuge. Okay, just to make it clear. So you need a refuge. Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, and different deities. These are the refuge. Next is the power of regret or repentance. Yeah. What did you say? Regret. Yeah. Yuba. So whatever you have done, negative thing you have done, whether you are conscious of committing them or unconscious, you must be aware of, not only acknowledge them, but must feel a very strong sense of remorse for that. Yeah. As if you have just now consumed poison. If you just realize you have consumed poison, you will try to throw it, puke, throw it out. Similarly, you need to have a very strong remorse. Yeah, the second one. That practicing or engaging in I don't know the exact name for this one. Engaging in practices that is contrary to accumulating that negative karma. What that basically means is if you have done doing the mantra recitations, yeah, doing mantra recitations or doing purifying practices like prostrations, and can you find what are the four, the name of this thing? I don't know the name of the third one. Power of remedy, yes. So yeah, power of remedy. So that is the reciting mantra, doing prostration, all these things, like they help to purify the negativity. Yeah, engaging in activities that is like direct contrast to the negative action that brought you to confess them. Yeah, so that is the power of remedy. Then to revoke, refrain. Refrain. So whatever you have done, let's say killing or stealing something, then you must make sure that you must commit yourself, reaffirm that you will not redo that something as such. You will not redo it. You will not, if you have stolen, repent and then think like, I will no longer steal. If you have lied, I will no longer lie, etc. So power of repent, refrain. So refuge, regret. So it's 4R. So refuge, regret, remedy, refrain. So 4Rs. The power of 4Rs. It's actually called the 4 powers, Topshi, Topshi. So if you have that with the 4 powers of purifying or restoring, with these 4 powers, you will be able to purify any negativity. Any negative action that you have committed, you can revoke them. Yeah? That is confessing. So that's how you confess. Next is rejoice. The most important thing is that you need to feel like strong revulsion to the negative deed that you have done, as if just now we just talked about it, like as if you have consumed poison. If you have poison in your belly, you will want to remove them right away. You will not wait for maybe tomorrow. Yeah. So you will want to do it right away. So that is the confession is based on basically what is known as the 4 powers or 4 forces. Then rejoice is basically appreciation. It is said that if there is a practice that is the most easiest, most convenient to do, but at the same time most powerful way to accumulate merit, then that is the rejoice. So it is said that if you rejoice someone's positive action, and if that person is on the same equal spiritual plane as you, has a similar realization as yourself, then you will reap the same benefit, same merit as that person. If let's say someone is someone liberates chicken or a goat from the slaughterhouse, and you appreciate that, rejoice in that. So whatever merit that person accumulates, you will have the same merit if you are both on the same level of realization, same level of spiritual understanding. If the person has lower on a lower level, you get the double. If the person is higher, then you get half of it. Yeah. So it's very detailed. So there was, the other day someone questioned like, how is that possible? I do all the hard work and they appreciate that and they get that, right? You remember? You were there. So anyway, so rejoice just does not mean, oh, he did something, okay, nice. Just not talking about lip service here. Rejoice means how to say, sincere appreciation of someone's action or contribution. So when you are sincerely appreciating someone, like really touch your heart, whatever the person doing, you really touch your heart and sincerely appreciate. If you sincerely appreciate, you get inspired. Yeah. So inspiration, what's the meaning of inspiration? It means I want to do the same thing. I can do or cannot do it is a totally different thing, but I want to do just what you did. That's called inspiration. Yeah. So true rejoice means inspiration. Yeah. True appreciation. Yeah. Getting inspired. So when you are able to do that, then if you are truly inspired, you will do something. You will not sit still. You will do something about it. Then you will make a change, etc. So therefore, it's beneficial. It's very, very powerful. Okay. That's why if the person who does it is has lesser potential than you, and when you appreciate, that means you are inspired to do what he did, because you are more powerful. You can do much better than him. So the benefit, the double merit. If you are equal, you can do what he did. If he does that, you are on the same level. You can do exactly what he does because you are inspired. You will do. If he is of much more powerful or have more influential than you, then you can do at least half of it, or some to a certain degree. Yeah, that's why rejoice, very very powerful. The main reason for rejoicing is actually it deals with jealousy. Jealousy is envious. You are unable to appreciate someone else's achievement. Yeah, possessions, name, fame, whatever. Somebody else has the same thing. Somebody else has the same bag that you are carrying. You cannot stand that. Using the same, having the same dress. You cannot stand that. Same car. I cannot stand that. Same. So unable to stand someone else's quality, someone else's possession, achievement, etc. Yeah. Shengi yuende pun sopaga misoba. Yeah. Shengi yuende pun sopaga misoba. You are unable to stand the qualitative achievements of the other person. So, then what's next? Rejoice. Request. Now comes to request, right? Oh, that's very important. Okay, there's a story behind it. I want to tell the story to while the time. So, anyway, rejoice, then request, right? So request the sublime teachers to have a long life. To have a long life. That's very important. The story goes back to Buddha's time. Buddha, in his sort of midlife, one time when he was doing so much for the people around him, enlightening people, taking people to realization, liberation, this and that. So one day, the king of demons, the devil king, the king of demons, one of the demon king went to see the Buddha and asked him, "Oh Lord, with due respect." He said all the good things, like, okay, you have done so many liberation to people, so good, blah 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 blah. And you also aren't you also supposed to be looking for us as well? Basically meaning you are supposed to be for all. That means you also work for the bad people too. So we should let the bad people do bad things too, Because of you, our business is going down. We are not thriving. Buddha teach everyone to be enlightened, and people are all into liberation for joining the fellowship of the Buddha, the Sangha, etc. Nobody is falling into the bad habits. Aren't you supposed to work for us too, right? Anyway, jokes aside, he made the request to the Buddha. It would be, since you work for all sentient beings, you work for for the sake of the devils too, the demons too, and that we wish to thrive as well. And for our sake, could you please depart from this world? So to die. And Buddha said, it's not the time yet. When the time comes, you will have the opportunity. Then you can, and then I will do so. So when the long story, so he was up to 80 years old. That when it came the time to die, when it was time to die, who's the person who is always with the Buddha? Ananda. So Ananda always constantly with the Buddha, especially, he with his supernatural power, he can also sense that, the demon is always coming nearby, wanted to take this opportunity to request the Buddha to pass away. So he is constantly with the Buddha. Then one particular day, it's also the time for the Buddha. Okay. So there was another story. If we just extend the story, then we talk about the Buddha drinking that water and getting sick and all this. So before all this thing happened, so the demon king, before the demon king came to see the Buddha, Buddha told Ananda that you can go. Okay, now I have everything I need, because Ananda is Buddha's caretaker, attendant, right? So I have everything I need here. Don't worry, you just go. I think I have everything needed for today. You just go and do meditation. So Ananda, and then Buddha sort of blessed, or Buddha sort of forced, okay, Ananda to do into meditation. So he went into very deep meditation, shamatha meditation, very deep. So because of that deep meditation, he was not aware of what's going on. Then the king of demon came and asked the Buddha to pass away. He said, okay. He didn't say okay. He said, wait, I will ask. Then he asked Ananda. Ananda was there, of course. Ananda, should I retire? Should I depart? No response, because he is, in deep meditation, which Buddha made him do so anyways. So, you see the irony, the whole thing going on. Ananda, should I depart? No response. Ananda, should I depart? No response. 3 times, no response. So then Buddha said, okay, seems like nobody wants me here anymore. We didn't say that, okay, I'm just making it more dramatic. Don't take everything I said literally. Anyway, so Buddha said, okay, then he said, I will go. He promised the demon king that he will go. Then the other story comes, like he went there and drank water, this and that. So later there's something called the 8 trials of Ananda. Ananda was later persecuted by the Buddhist community, the Sangha, after Buddha's death. Never heard of this, right? Have you heard? Anyone heard before? Ananda was persecuted by the Buddhist council after the Buddha's demise, Buddha's passing away. So this is known as the 8 trials of Ananda. The reason was that Ananda was with Buddha at all times, and he has listened, he has heard everything that Buddha has taught, he has heard that. So when the Buddha passed away, they wanted to collect all the teachings of the Buddha, the Arahats, everybody. So all the Arahats, they were in some teachings of the Buddha, but none of them was there at all teachings of the Buddha. Only person who heard the Buddha's teaching from beginning to end, all the words of the Buddha, is Ananda. But Ananda does not recall Buddha's teaching because he has not reached Arahat. He heard everything. Just because you learn something does not mean you achieve something. So he heard everything, learned everything, but he never got to Arahat. Reason? Ego, pride. He is the Buddha's cousin, and he is the closest attendant, right? So he is privy to all the Buddha's, activity, everything. So he has the pride. So the pride is what is holding him to be Arahat. So during the first council of there are 3 councils to collect the Buddha's teaching. So during the first council, they called everyone in. They also invited Ananda. Ananda was very happy. Now maybe I'm the next, Buddha passed away, so I have everything. Maybe they want to enthrone me as the next teacher. The Buddha was ready. He came. There was no place to sit. All the other Arahats are sitting around, surrounded. They say 500, but maybe 500 is usually a figurative number. In the sutras, they say 500 all the time. It's usually a very large number, figurative, not literal. So all the Arahats around, they start persecuting Ananda, saying, you stay with the Buddha, but you didn't serve him properly. For example, when the demon king first of all, you let the demon king in. You're not a good attendant, good guardian. You let everybody go inside to see the Buddha. And when Buddha asked you 3 times, should I depart? Because the Arahats, they have the clairvoyance, they know. So when they asked you for that, you said you didn't respond. And then, so there were other things, like very trivial things, like there was a time when Ananda Buddha's robes got torn. Ananda sewed it. So while sewing, you need to straighten it out. So he put his feet on there, and then he sewed it like that. How dare you step on Buddha's robes? If you had just throw it in the sky, the angels would hold it for you, and you can sew it like that. Then they said that the Buddha drink from Buddha drank from a poodle when he passed away. It is said the Buddha drank contaminated water. So Ananda, after Buddha made that announcement, after the demon king came to see the Buddha, Ananda and Buddha were heading towards Kushinagar, where he passed away. So there, on the way, Buddha became thirsty. He said, "Ask for water." Ananda cannot find water. There was, for some reason, under his delusion, he could see a pool of water. It's actually a poodle made from the a caving of the ground. From usually we call it 500 chariots have passed through that road. So when there's a lot of car going and the poodle becomes bigger and bigger, a crater or a poodle like that. So he took the water from there and served to the Buddha. So because of whatever delusion he has, he could only see he probably thought it's a clean water anyways. So anyway, he served that water. In some of the Indian modern Buddhist textbook published in India, you see a mention of Buddha being offered water by a low caste woman, and by taking that water, he got sick. So there is a casteistic. Okay, this comes from it is not from Buddhist literature. Okay, so just be aware of that. It comes from a casteistic tradition. Anyway, what actually happened was so there was 8 trials. Okay, not going to go into all of that. And later, after that, Ananda was so shocked, disappointed, depressed, that when the Buddha was there, I have my back and support. Everybody is saying, "Oh, Elder Ananda, Elder Ananda." Now Buddha passed away, I have no support. Usually we used to say, when you have money, everybody respects. If you don't have money, everybody looks down on you, this and that. So similarly here, when you have a backing of the Buddha, I am such an elevated person. Now without the Buddha, they do so bad, so disappointed, so feeling so low. In that feeling lowness, his pride got flattened out, no pride. So then his understanding of the Dharma, of course, was evoked, and immediately he became an Arahant. The moment he became an Arahant, he could remember all the teachings of the Buddha. That very moment, all the Arahats removed their yellow robes, stacked all the yellow robes as a throne, put the throne, and then let him sit on the throne of the yellow robes. Usually we don't sit on this one, but when he became the Arahant, he was offered to sit of yellow robe, sugar, and he Namjar actually, the supreme robe, and then they sat on that. Then this is to highlight, this is to respect the teaching. So you see all the time in the Tibetan Buddhist tradition, we have the teacher sitting on a very high throne. It's not necessarily for the teacher himself, it's for the Dharma that the teaching is giving. That's why whenever the Lama comes in, they do something called the ticha, means the throne prostration. So you prostrate, I have to prostrate to the throne, because it is from this throne that I will be transmitting Buddha's teaching. So the prostration is not for the altar. Altar is already there anyway, but this is called the ticha, or the throne prostration. And then, before you sit on the throne, you snap the finger, telling you that it's just a transient thing. Like a snap of finger, it can go in a jiffy. Don't be, proud of this. Anyway, so rejoice, request. So we have this tradition of when we see a Lama go to see our teacher, we always ask them, which means have a long life, please. Live a long life. We also have the tradition of making long life offering, etc. So the reason the story behind that, the story behind making long life offering, Dinshu, is that thing. Because you never know, because the enlightened beings work for all sentient beings, including the demons. So you never know when they choose to depart. So you have to remind often that, hey, please don't go, stay. Okay? So that's why we have this tradition of when we go to see our teacher, we ask them, please have a long life. Like so this comes from there. Then, and of course, if they stay, we wish them to give the Dhamma teaching. Without the Dhamma teaching, so that is the requesting them to turn the wheel of the Dharma. One of the reasons, especially for the monastics, the Sangha is, in the Vinaya, it says, Masowala Michao, which means, if not requested, then don't do it. Means you cannot teach unless you are asked to teach. So actually, as part of our discipline, we are restricted from proselytizing, promoting, trying to convert people, this and that, cannot. If they wish to follow the Dharma, they wish to learn, we teach. Otherwise, cannot. That's why you also have we also do the mandala offering. That is to request the teacher to give us, share the Dharma every time. And of course, also it is to highlight the preciousness of the Dharma too. That's why. So, requesting the sublime beings to give the Dharma teaching. Then to cap it all with dedication. Dedication is basically depositing. It's your PF, Provident Fund. So everything kept there. Hopefully nothing happens to it. Well, it's the most secure bank to deposit your merits. Pension fund, PF. Yeah. So all your hard work, if you keep it in your home, you never know, right? Fire hazard, whatever, insurance, I don't know, applies or not apply. Natural calamities do not apply, right? God's work do not apply. Anyway, so dedicating your merit is very important. Otherwise, when we have negative afflictive emotions popping up, this actually robs us or washes away our accumulation. Positive merits all are washed away like that. So therefore, flooded away. So therefore, we need to do the dedication. Dedication basically means whatever positive, whatever merits that I've accumulated, I entrust it up to you, O Buddha. So to the Buddha, to the deity, to the refuge field, you entrust it with them. Yeah. So that means until their merits expire or exhaust, your merits do not expire, because you pull it in. You pull in with the merits of all the Buddhas. That way, until the ocean of the merits that the Buddhas themselves have accumulated dries up, your merits will also not dry. So it's a huge pool, like that. So therefore, dedication. So this 7 limb practice, by engaging in the 7 limb practice, as well as the mandala offerings, so many types of things. So this accumulate great merit. So merit is credit. If you have good credit score, so merit, you have accumulating merit means you have good credit. Yeah, it literally so. So the more rich in credit you have, the more things you can acquire. So in order to acquire wisdom, you also need merit. So merit and wisdom so goes hand in hand. So accumulating merit, then whatever prayers you do will come true. If you are meritorious, sonam dembe mi sambannam yantu. Those who are those people who are meritorious, their wish will come true. Yeah, like that. So that's the second cause. The third cause is generating bodhicitta. There are two types of bodhicitta. Yeah, one is known as the ultimate bodhicitta and conventional bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta is not a real bodhicitta. When we talk about bodhicitta, we are usually referring to conventional bodhicitta. Ultimate bodhicitta is a term that we use for the wisdom that realizes emptiness. Yeah? Conventional bodhicitta is what we strive to work for. Bodhicitta, by its very definition, is a mindset that wishes to attain enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. That is bodhicitta. If you go into like the characteristics, it's called a principal mind. You know, you have different main mind and peripheral mindsets. So it is a principal mind or principal mental factor that aspires to attain enlightenment for the sake of all sentient beings. That is the bodhicitta. It is fueled by compassion, something called the great compassion. Yeah, compassion can be selfish. We have for our loved ones only, but not for people who we are not close with. But great compassion is for all, universal compassion. Yeah? So bodhicitta is fueled by great compassion. There are two ways to train in bodhicitta. What is known as the seven-point course in effect. Yeah. The other one is known as the exchanging oneself with the other. So both are effective for different people. Yeah. So that is the bodhicitta practice. So there are actually three types of bodhicitta. You know, bodhicitta can be differentiated can be characterized in many different forms. In terms of metaphor, there are 22 types of bodhicitta. In terms of how you pledge generating a bodhicitta, there are three. Some like that of an oarsman, boat driver, an oarsman, someone, an oarsman, someone like. So in the sutra it says oarsman, so that means a driver, like that of a king and like that of a shepherd. So the shepherd sends all the sheep first, and they are behind. The king, the prince has to become a king first in order to help the subjects, and then the oarsman or the driver and the passenger, they all reach the destination at the same time. So certain type of people, when they generate bodhicitta for the very first time, when they pledge bodhicitta vow, they wish to, until all the sentient beings become bodhicitta, I will not become bodhicitta, because I care more for the others than myself. So I want everybody to become bodhicitta, Buddha first, and then I will become a Buddha. That is shepherd bodhicitta. Then there is the one. In order to help others, to help my countrymen, I must become the king, and as a king, I can take care of all the people. Then there is one. I cannot wait until they become Buddha. So I must walk hand in hand. Me and all the Buddhas will become, all the sentient beings become Buddha at the same time. The oarsman like. Usually we differentiate, or we categorize them into the three ways to generate bodhicitta. Represented by Manjushri, Jenrisik, Jamea, Jenrisik, and Chanadoji, Vajrapani. So Manjushri, because he has the wisdom, the wisest, he said, I will become Buddha first and then take care of all sentient beings. What is his name? Jenrisik, because compassion, he wants everybody to become Buddha first. He will become Buddha last. Then Vajrapani said, I will become Buddha because he represents potential power. He said, I will become Buddha. When they were ordinary beings like us, okay? So the allegiance they took, the oath they took is, I will become Buddha with all the sentient beings together. So only one of them worked. We know that, right? Manjushri has become a Buddha and is helping us. We have not become Buddha yet. So January 6th prayer didn't come true. And Vajrapani oath, the oath that Vajrapani took, broke, not fulfilled. January 6th, not fulfilled. So they used to say, Changju Semba Myolam Tabayang Madhu Tuman, which means even prayers, aspirational prayers made by great bodhisattvas can be left unfulfilled. That is the oath that they took in the very first time. This is what it shows is the magnitude of their the intensity of their compassion, their bodhicitta. It shows Janasi can wait until all the other sentient beings are become Buddha. Vajrapani has the power to carry all the sentient beings with him. So it shows the intensity of their bodhicitta. It's not necessarily means because it's a bodhisattva's prayer, it comes true like that. So, two bodhicittas. And then the last one is we need to do the dedication and prayer. So you might, visualizing the pure realm, accumulating merit. So part of accumulating merit, I mentioned the 7-limb practice, but there are other ways to accumulate merit too. So within the 7-limb practice, the dedication is already there, okay? But in general, it's visualizing the Pure Land, accumulating the merit, generating the bodhicitta, and then dedicating. So these 4 things are necessary to be born in the pure realm of Amitabha's Pure Land. So usually the dedication, which is Moa in Tibetan, and then aspiration, prayer, Myolam. Moa and Myolam, we say there are 2 things. The main difference between that is dedication, something, if you pray with some substance, that's a merit, that's a dedication. If you pray with a substance, that is a dedication. Without substance, it's a prayer. Meaning, if you do something, let's say, recite a round of mala, a round of Om Mani Padme Hum, 1 mala of Om Mani Padme Hum, and then, okay, the merit that I gathered from reciting Om Mani Padme Hum, may all sentient beings be free from samsara. If you pray that way, it's called a dedication. If you have something to, count, something to, I don't know how to say that, something to quantify, it's called dedication. If you just go to, let's say, a temple and say, oh, may all sentient beings be happy, without anything to quantify, then it's called a prayer. So the difference between a prayer and dedication is whether you have something, whether it's quantifiable or not. Yeah, Myolam and Moa, that's the main difference. So now we go to, last night I said I will share it with you, the prayer, the practice to be born in Pure Land in your sleep. So it's called to be born in Amitabha's Pure Land without any interferences, the practice known as sleeping meditation, Samden Yelkom. Okay, I will just read do a transmission of this. Lamo Ramana Chazelo. Pigeon Zevera, Mizabed, Legitimate, Tato Zevera, Hamid, but Savamena Chazon, the Bong, the Moran, the Wajin, the Given, Seven Gage, the New Zealand, and Maro, the Honoring is the result of the Station of the Jewish event, and Yelling about Momo, Zedju, Command the game of Namaro, Yellow, Woman, the Social the Pameke of the Jana, Joki, and Jamani. So this is the invocation prayer. We invite, so before sleeping, we request Amitabha to arrive, to invoke Amitabha in the place where you are. lying, where you are staying, where you are reciting. Then we engage in the practices of accumulating merit. So the 7 limb practice is most proper. Then maybe do a mandala like that. And after that, we engage in the bodhicitta practice. Okay. After that, we lie down on. So you lie down in your bed. So the pillow, you imagine that as the lap of Amitabha. Did I share this practice last year? Yes. I did, right? Yeah. So it seems there is, yeah. So okay, maybe a repetition, but I didn't give the transmission. So you put your head on. You visualize that you're putting your head on the lap of Amitabha. I remember because somebody asked which lap, right lap or left lap. I don't think so because it's not specified. I think the next question might be, should I snore or not? So you recite, you recline on the Amitabha's lap. So visualization of Amitabha, as we discussed earlier. On the left, Amitabha's left is Manjushri. On the right is Vajrapani, like there. Then you just feel like you are sleeping on Amitabha's lap. Then as you'll be breathing in and out. So when you're breathing out, visualize your consciousness in the form of a light that is the pea-sized size of a pea, small pea, is coming out from your. It's stemming out from your heart or your chest. Come out from your. So from your nostrils, it comes from your nostrils and it enters to the Amitabha's heart. After that, as you breathe in, the same light, which is the same consciousness of yours, which is in the form of a light, comes back to your heart. So you visualize that you are sleeping, lying down. You visualize as you're breathing in, breathing out. As you breathe out, you visualize your consciousness going to Amitabha's heart. As you breathe in, your consciousness is coming out from Amitabha's, like that. So every time it comes back, so you have to do it 21 times. Okay? Every time you are inhaling, it's a new consciousness. It's not the same old consciousness that's being recycled. I know there's only one in consciousness in there. There isn't 21 people inside you. But for the sake of purifying, every time you breathe out, since it's a new breath anyways, so stagnant breath is being thrown out and a new breath is coming in. Every time the old consciousness, a new consciousness comes out, is your consciousness, goes out. Every time, basically visualize as if it's happening for the first time, every time. So goes out, come back, goes out, come back, like that. And then once you get, quite well versed in it, maybe you become good in that practice, then even in the initial stages, you have to return, the consciousness must return, because consciousness away from the body means death. Mind and body separate, death. That is very easy that way, okay? So mind is outside of the body, corpse. Put the mind back in the body, corpse, then it becomes body. Yeah? Corpse and body difference is if there is a mind or no consciousness, or there's a consciousness. So it comes back. Later, when you become well versed, you only start visualizing the consciousness going out. So this makes you familiarize, this trains you to emit or transmit a form of a poa, okay? To transmit your consciousness to the Amitabha's Pure Land at the time of death. Because sleep is a form of death, it's a mini death every day. So you train is this mini death every day, then at the time of the eventual death of life, then you will be. It becomes your second nature. So it'll be easier for you to transmit your consciousness to Amitabha's Pure Land, like that. Yeah, that's it. So in general, you need to engage in the four causes. You need to accumulate the four causes of what do you call that? Pure, being born in Amitabha's Pure Land in general, but certain practices like this is helpful, especially when you how to say, simulate mini death every time you go to sleep, like that. Okay, so that concludes. I hope that is okay. Thank you so much, everyone, for your attention, interest, for your time, dedication, all these days. And I wish that we all be able to practice well. We able to collect the four causes of to be born in Amitabha's Pure Land and to meet in Amitabha's Pure Land in next life. Yeah. Gewandi nyurdo da ba mege drugyurone drowa jegyam malu bandi sala geba sho chanju semjo jembo geba nam gegyuro jengeba nyamba meba kone kondo mbe